Well, Merry Christmas, everyone. We're here live on AFTV. Every time I start a show, I then panic that I haven't turned down the iPad where I'm getting your comments, and you're going to hear yourself or myself. Anyway, you get the point. But Merry Christmas, or Merry 1st of December, or whatever it is you want to call today. It's I think when a lot of people feel like it's the appropriate time to start actually getting into the Christmas build-up. I feel like listening to a Christmas song before December feels wrong to me, but some people listen, it feels like we're always picking on Cecil, by the way. We love you, Cecil. We know you're doing amazing things, but he gets his Christmas tree up in like October.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. But you can tell.
That's a bit early for me.
If you know Cecil, you know that's what he does, man.
Listen, he's festive and he's fun and he likes to enjoy himself. But listen, Turkish, welcome to another live show. How are you, my friend?
Yeah, I'm alright. Can't complain.
Yeah? Did you see Belgium out of the World Cup?
Yep.
And deservedly so.
Yeah, Martinez should have been gone before, really, but now he's going to go at the end of their golden era, so it's a bit late.
Do you think what's kind of like kept him afloat in that job is that they've never been good, Belgium, under him, really, but they've always been like good enough to beat the teams they should beat, but lost to the teams that you'd sort of expect them to lose to, whether it be France at the World Cup, whether it be Italy at the Euros, and so they've kind of always been forgiven for that. Well, one of those.
Is that Southgate?
I was going to say, where have we heard that before?
Yeah. But Martinez is a better manager.
That says something. I'm inclined to agree. He's like Southgate, says Hit 44. I completely agree. Aston's in the chat. Aston, I hope you're well, mate. I know we said we were going to do stuff together, so I look forward to that. Obviously, lots of Arsenal content. He says it's Arsenal's birthday, 136 years old. Did you know that?
Nope. I
didn't know that. Not that I don't believe you, but I want to fact check that more because I want to see, what was the year? 1866 or something?
1880.
1880, yeah. 1886.
Something like that.
Yes. We're going to check. It's bad of me not to know. Well, now everyone's going to come out. You don't really love Arsenal, all that. Sorry, I wasn't around then. Hello, James, says Kelvin. Hello, Kelvin. Hope you're well. Yeah, Lukaku. Some people talking about Lukaku missing. Well, do you know what? It was great. 1886 says John McDermott. Thank you. There was some good defending, to be fair, from Croatia. Got them over the line. I thought actually over the 3 games, Croatia looked more than value for the qualification to the knockouts over Belgium. Morocco did brilliantly. Yeah. Fair play to them. Canada, I think, came with a little bit of hype because, you know, some excitement around their players. Didn't really happy for them.
Nah. Morocco were the only team in that group that deserved to go through, really.
You know, I was looking at that Belgian team that went out and I was just thinking, it doesn't have to be this way, you know. Like, for years he's played like Meunier and Carrasco as wing backs that I just find 2 incredibly uninspiring wing back options. He's always had this back 3 of Alderweireld, Vertonghen, and I appreciate you want to have some experience, but I just thought, like, go with the back 4, okay? Maybe go with Dendoncker alongside Vertonghen, so you got a little bit of a balance of, you know, kind of a more youthful player who's still playing at the highest level or in the Premier League, you know, alongside a more experienced option. Get Onana and Tielemans in there. Tielemans isn't starting. De Bruyne in the 10, and then take your pick. Doku, Lukaku, Mertens, Carrasco. Like, they've still got great options. Trossard. Like, it didn't have to be... Like, I was looking at their team going, I swear I've seen this 11 for the last 6-7 years. But it didn't have to be that way.
I think it's a lack of imagination, really. It just he done what everyone, you know, expected him to do, and that was go with what he's been going with. Again, it's very similar to Southgate. Very similar. How many times have we talked about Southgate and what he does and not necessarily having to go with it? Yeah, he might have changed it up a bit this tournament, has he?
No, I think he should have.
But has he changed it up?
No, I don't think he has at all. Do you? I don't know. Let's have a little look at the...
Not really, no. When I compare it to the Euros,
Belgium World Cup 2022. Let's have a little look. I don't think he's changed it anywhere near enough, and I think there's players in there that he could have looked at towards for a lot more inspiration. Okay, Trossard started today, sure, but look at the bench. I mean, how's Tielemans not playing? You know, Fass, the centre back at Leicester. Like, I know he's had an indifferent start, but starting week in, week out for Leicester in the Premier League. Doku, I think, is a real talent. Hazard didn't even start, but okay, maybe he's had his issues, so I won't comment too much. Look, I don't profess to know everything about Belgium, I really don't, but I just looked at, like, the 3-4-3 he was going with and the approach, I was just like, this was stale 2-3 years ago. I don't know why we're still seeing, De Bruyne said that the squad was old, didn't he?
Yeah.
You're just like, come on, really? We're not gonna. Trossard's a really good player. Doku's really exciting as well. Lukaku's still in his prime, at least in terms of age.
God knows what happens to him now.
Yeah,
I don't think Inter are gonna keep him.
It's not working for him there, is it?
And Chelsea won't want him back. So what's next for him?
Do you know, sometimes, like, when you've been around a lot of different clubs, sometimes when you find yourself settled, just stay where you're settled.
Yeah.
And I kind of admire him wanting to come back to the Premier League and be like, listen, I've got unfinished business. With having been at Chelsea, been at Man United, Everton, West Brom, and I think he wanted this to be the stint. This is the year where it all happens for me. This is the club where it all happens for me. And it didn't. But it was working so well from it Inter in the first place that you kind of just think...
Yeah, I mean, I admired that he wanted to come back and prove himself, but then literally a few months later to more or less complain or open up about missing Inter Milan, that, you can't admire that.
Yeah,
you do your job.
What do you think about maybe Tottenham? If Conte's still there come the summer, which I don't think he will be, by the way, but if he is,
well, we're always saying Kane's going to move on eventually, but he just loves winning no trophy, so he just keeps on staying there every year.
He went with it. Fair enough. Big up to all you guys in the chat watching. Hit a like if you enjoy AFTV and you enjoy the lives and all the shows we're bringing to you. Hit a like to appreciate the production team, because look at this, we have presents. What do you think's in this?
Nothing.
I'm not opening it, but it looks great. So no, actually, well done to production. They're doing an amazing job, especially because they're the ones working really hard. Big up Joe, working really hard to make all this happen, while obviously all the focus on the World Cup. But there is Arsenal stuff to talk about. Let's start with a potential Arsenal kit leaked. I know you love the merch. I know this is your favourite topic, so thank you so much for joining. It was meant to be someone else, but Turkish went, this is a great one.
They believe that.
I've got to be on this show. Look, credit to Footy Headlines, who get the information. Seems all the leaks come from them. We have put the link in the description below. We want to give full credit to them, and you can click on the link to find out everything you need about the leaked shirt and the idea and what it could look like in there. But we do have a picture. You've seen it in the thumbnail. We're going to bring it up on screen now. It's actually quite heavily inspired by what it looks like Adidas's World Cup kit design seems to be. Which is like, if you look at the Belgium shirt, it's also the red with kind of the black sleeves, but it's not just black sleeves, it's kind of up to the shoulder, the round collar, and then Adidas without the Adidas text on it as well. And to be honest, and Kane, who works with us, will absolutely back me that I said this. Before we went live for the World Cup and the DR had the shirts up, I said this design is what you'll see on the Arsenal shirt. Absolutely, from the Adidas, the lack of text to the way the kind of everything works on the shoulders and all that.
And shoulder,
yeah. And have you noticed a little trim they've got down the side and back of the shirt as well? On some of the not on that one, on the World Cup kits.
Oh yeah.
Like the Argentina one, Belgium. That again, you'll see that on the Arsenal kit, because there's always a template that they just kind of use. And I think the World Cup was their way of debuting this template, fresh for all the new international teams.
Yeah.
And then for the clubs.
No, I mean, it's pretty basic, but I think there's not much you can do with the home shirt anyway. I tend to like the home shirts because it's Arsenal red and white. What I haven't liked is the players that are putting on the shirts in recent years. Now we've got players that I do like. That's what it's about. It's not about the fucking shirts. It's not about the design. It's about what you do in the shirts. The design could be a shit design. If you win something at the end of the season, that shirt brings you memories, and memories is what football's about, winning, and enjoying the wave. So the design can be whatever it needs to be, especially with the home shirt. I get it. Red, white, it's always going to be similar. You might get a bit of navy in there. This season...
Last season's
had navy. Yeah, so you might get a bit there and there as the third colour in the package, but I don't expect the jaw drop in home shirt. My jaw will drop if I look back on it in 10 years and say, we done something in that shirt, and I can tell my son that shirt means this. That shirt, this player wore it on this day when he bagged 2 against Manchester City at the Etihad before we won the league title. There has to be a story behind the shirt. People are infatuated with designs nowadays. It's not about the fucking design. If you care about designs, go and shop in Louis Vuitton and all of that. They got nice designs as well. This is Arsenal Football Club. It's not about the design Adidas give, more or less. It's all templated anyway. It's about what we do in it and the players we have. And yes, the players definitely we have now a lot better than 2 years ago, so that goes a long way in helping me remember. For example, this black and gold shirt, we might not win anything in it this year, but I'll remember it because Jesus came in this summer, and if we do win something in the next 2 years, 3 years, and by something I mean a Premier League, something big, then there's some memories attached to it. But like I said, the home shirt is the home shirt, red and white.
Yeah, I agree. There's not much they can do with the home shirt. I agree with that. And you're so right about the kits. I mean, Alexis Sanchez scored an amazing goal at Wembley in the FA Cup final against Villa. Do you remember the one from distance? Yeah. In one of the most horrific Arsenal shirts I've seen in my life. I mean, that Puma line that year.
Was that the yellow one or the?
Oh yeah, the yellow one.
The yellow one.
It started with the red one. That, funnily enough, has a similar sleeve design to the one on the upcoming one, but Adidas is much better. Then they had the yellow, and then they had, do you remember the navy and light blue is stripes sideways with a lime green trim?
Yeah, that one was fucking
they were awful.
They really, I don't know what they tried with that one.
No, they had some shockers.
But listen, I mean, I didn't like the 2011-2012 away shirt, the half navy, half sky blue. I didn't like that. But then Henry comes. Henry wears it. Now I've got it.
No, I get it.
And there's a story there. Henry long sleeved. A picture I can bring up to my son and say, look, when Henry came back, he wore a home kit, red and white, long sleeve. He wore the away kit, blue and baby blue, long sleeve, and he wore the third kit, the yellow one, in one-off Champions League game. That was the only one.
AC Milan, I believe.
Yeah, and I've got that one in long sleeve as well.
We wore that in yellow shorts. I think I can't remember if that day we wore yellow.
Mate, I think we did. You know. So I got all 3 long sleeved. Now there's a story to tell there. We didn't win anything, but bringing Henry back was a big moment for me.
I always remember Henry's sleeves were always slightly too short. Was it just me? Like because obviously he came back and he's a tall guy, isn't he? Was he 6'3", 6'2"?
Yeah, it must be 6'2". I don't know off the top of my head, but it must be.
His sleeves always just slightly too short. Like,
it's because I think when he was first at Arsenal, the tops used to be baggy.
Yeah.
So there was no issue there. So I think as years gone by, you get more fitted looks and whatnot, and he probably just stuck to his same size, and it just means the sleeves come up a bit.
I mean, Thierry Henry, you're so right, because I don't think we wore anything in 2006-07. But that first year at the Emirates, we actually talked about yesterday on the live stream, the header against Man United when he won it for us in the 93rd minute. But that kind of, the Nike shirt tucked in with the gold trim, long sleeve Henry, and just sort of jogging around the pitch, celebrating the goal. Like, that is, like, for me, that's a great kit. I know we didn't win anything in it, but it's just the players that played in it. First year of the Emirates, little things like that. Yeah, I don't know. I get what you mean. Even though maybe the attachments I'm having to these kits aren't quite the title-winning ones you're mentioning or Henry returning. I know what you mean. When there's a certain attachment to a shirt, it
means a lot more.
Yeah, I agree. Let's go through the comments. Let's go through what you guys are saying. How do you guys think Arsenal's pre-season transfers, the first half of the season, would have been affected had the World Cup been in June, July? From Malcolm. What a great question. How would it have been affected?
Arsenal's pre-season transfers and first half of the season would have been affected had the World Cup been in June, July. I don't think it would have.
I like to believe it wouldn't have.
How do you think Arsenal's pre-season, so that means the summer we just had?
Yeah.
I don't see that really playing a part in it. So I would have assumed the same transfers and so on. And the first half of the season, I think 14 games, 12 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss doesn't really come down to a World Cup coming in midway through, so I'd expect nothing to really change.
I think Jesus' deal might have been done a little bit later, because I don't know, because we got that done by end of June, beginning of July, didn't we?
Yeah.
Maybe early July we had that done by.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking if a World Cup's going on, that's the kind of deal that you hear, they'll sort it after the World Cup.
Yeah.
He's just focusing on Brazil. That's the kind of thing you'd have heard, I think, back then.
What does he mean if the World Cup was in the summer just gone, or the World Cup was actually...
No, if it was in the summer just gone.
The summer just gone. Maybe then. Maybe teams then wait and decide and look at the gems from the tournament and then go maybe full throttle then. But I think Arsenal shouldn't, and we're not in a position to be dilly-dallying. You know, finally we had a proactive window. I'd hope a international tournament doesn't change that fact.
Yeah, I'm with you. Great question though, Malcolm. Thank you. And Malcolm sent in another super chat as well with that, although it might be that he sent it without the question, so I appreciate it again, Malcolm. Aston says, so we were formed today in 1886. We would play our first game on the 11th. We would change our name from Woolwich Arsenal to Royal Arsenal in January. 136 years, 13 titles, 14 FA Cups, 16 Shields and Invincibles. It's not a bad history, is it? Best in the World says, facts, Adidas and Arsenal always have been perfect. People saying, Kevin says, Turkish dropping facts as usual. They're agreeing with your kind of sentiment around the kit and what makes them special. But if we are to talk about it from just a design perspective and looking at what looks nice, Adidas have, in fairness, delivered. Like, they are making shirts and merch that I do want to buy. And like, if you're judging Adidas, they're doing their job, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because if they were giving us ugly kits, we'd probably have something to say about it.
They're going over and beyond doing their job, the amount of kits we release every season.
There was more today, you know.
Is it?
Yeah, more training kits.
Training kits?
You've not seen them?
Oh, how could they train in the kits that came out 2 months ago? That would be a travesty, innit? Fucking hell.
Okay, let me show you. Just quickly guess what colours you think they are. So there's two. There's a pre-match shirt and then there's a training shirt. What colour do you think each one is?
Have we brought out any funny colours this season? Well, let's go for a lime green sort of colour, maybe like a neon green, a neon yellow kind of colour.
Neon green and neon yellow. Okay, fair enough. Let's have a little look. Where is the shop? There we go. Right, so we've got...
pink was the next one, but then I thought to myself, we've got a salmon away one, so I thought maybe they wouldn't double down on it.
It's like a white with navy sleeves and kind of a pinky purple, and that comes as a jacket. There's a block presentation jacket, there's all sorts, there's trackies, and then they brought out the pre-match top, which is the navy. And I'm not as big a fan of the pre-match top, I will be honest.
Is that a red stripe down the middle of it?
It's like a pinky purpley stripe, but I like the training top. I think the training top's actually really cool. But yeah,
it is what it is. I mean,
I know. I wasn't expecting much more.
Looks like another kit. It's like the 7th, 8th kit in line this season already. So
listen, people love it. So
of course they do, man.
But look, anyway. So, new home kit potentially leaked. I don't think there's much more to add to that other than that, really. It's coming out a little bit earlier than normal, the leaks. I think probably because they've got those World Cup templates, it's probably, you get a couple of details here and there. You could probably make a good guess as to how it might look. But that look we've shown there, again, thanks to Footy Headlines, they are the best in the business when it comes to shirt leaks and all that. That design will probably tweak and change a little bit, where you get more kind of details about.
They tend to always release them in January. I mean, that Footy Headlines place, and they always kind of get it bang on. Little tweaks here and there, but more or less the shirt we get in the summer or May. Even
training kits, they know about that white one. I saw the leaks
Do we still change up our kit for like the last couple home games of the season? Is that what
the last home game we do?
That's bollocks as well, because imagine you have a season where you're doing great and then you're wearing a certain kit, and then in the final of something or in the decisive game you change your kit to the season after. It's like, why?
So this is a major issue I have as well, and people might think, what's it matter? Like,
you come to the memories thing.
So when we won the FA Cup in 2020,
that was the last one. Yeah.
That wound me up so much. Now I have the Always 14 shirt, which was the seasons after.
Always Forward one.
Always Forward.
Yeah, that's it.
14.
Yeah, but it was 14.
Always 14.
It was 14.
It was the number 14 because we won the FA Cup 14th time. But Always Forward, right? And I got that shirt again because we won the FA Cup. We won it in that shirt, and I was over the moon. That is one of my least favourite shirts now because of how the season went the year after. And actually, the year before, where we had Adidas for the first year, and it was just a simple red and white,
Nice.
with a nice little like what do you call it? V-neck.
Yeah.
I don't remember where like V-neck. And it was just nice with like a little red trim on the white V-neck, and like that was, we played really well against City at the Etihad. And also, and this might sound like a really silly thing to say, but obviously that season had a lot of things going on with the pandemic. It was a very sad and difficult time for a lot of people, and that kit was obviously when it kind of all started. And like, I just think with everything that just kind of gone on, like, you know, we're playing that kit that season, end it in that season. You know, we had the stop, didn't we, where they played through the summer.
Yeah.
End it in that kit, win the FA Cup like we did in that kit, and then that is, you know, that holds a special place. But now, actually, because that whole season had been pretty terrible, that kit isn't remembered for that season.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And then
it's the other one.
And the other one doesn't get the recognition it should, because on the day you win something, you wear the one for next season. It's just you kind of ruin the one you had.
Like both kits are ruined a little bit,
and then
if that makes sense.
From then you potentially ruin the next one, and we did the next season.
Are we being too dramatic, guys? I really want to know what you guys think of the let me know in the comments. Like, does this really just not matter? Ultimately, we're wearing red and white, or it does to me. It really does. I think it was a mistake wearing the what ended up being the always forward 14, because they could have still done the whole always forward 14 on that shirt, but maybe they saw it as an opportunity to launch the sale of the new
marketing
ones.
That's it. That's why they do it. What better way to market it than the last game of the season, or the FA Cup final, or, you know, the business end? Have them wear it, summer comes, it gets released, bang, bunch of sales.
Yeah.
Which is
I didn't understand why we wore that in the final. Says best in the world. If we win the title, I'm literally raiding the armory, says TJ Ash. I agree with you both, says Calvin. Puma kits are trash, says Saksham. They've done good ones for City. Not the current one, but they have done some good ones for City, but we were kind of we were in the wrong era. Dave, shock. A bit dramatic, but if it's important to you, then God bless. Well, you know, I'll take that, Dave. It's not I'm having sleepless nights over it. It's just that if I were to make that decision from a purely fan's perspective, that's not the direction I'd have gone in.
Yeah,
but it was made, and I get on with my life.
You know, I liked growing up when you'd have a home kit for 2 years minimum. I preferred that.
Brentford did that. And I think a lot of fans really appreciated that. But like, I'm not gonna hate on the club for understanding that there are revenue streams that they want to try and.
They tried every revenue stream but trying to win the fucking major honours.
Now Turkish. Trust the process. Look. Obviously, things are going really well for the club at the moment, and they've been getting things absolutely right. On the kits front, listen, I get it. You're going to bring out new kits every year, and a lot of fans want new kits. You know, they want that new look for the season. Sometimes if you had a bad season, you're like, right, let's just leave that kit in the past and go fresh with a new look. And I get all that. But, you know, it did mean a lot to fans, Brentford fans, that they did keep for another year. They brought out a new away kit and they went, cool, this is the new shirt for the year or whatever. And yeah. I don't know, we'll see. Bring back the burgundy kit, says Marshall. Now, I think we talked about this before, but you'd want it to come back for something like special.
Yeah, you'd want to know you're going into the season to compete at least. I know that burgundy kit in was it 05-06 season? Yeah, 05-06 season.
So we won that. We wore that 05-06. It's currently 22-23. Now it's just 23-24. So call me crazy. If we won the league in 23-24 next season, let's say, which it's a tall order, but it's not beyond the realms of possibility. Would you want to see the return of the burgundy kit 20 years after they wore it, and as champions wearing burgundy? Is that a nice little... that would be exactly 20 years after the Invincibles. Yeah,
because do they still do the league champions patches?
Yeah, I think they do.
Yeah, because that adds to it as well. I mean, back in the day, last time Arsenal used to win titles, you'd have the kit you win the title in, special memories, then you'd have the kit the season after, and regardless if you win the title or not, you had the badges that said champions. So there was still a something special about that too. I think with the burgundy one though, I connect that to Highbury so much.
Yeah.
And I can't lie to you, I don't like what Adidas did with the redesigns. That I look back now and the yellow bruised banana one. It's actually,
I see what you mean. Yeah. I thought you meant the burgundy training one they brought out. Do you remember
they brought that out? I mean the kits they redesigned, like the bruised banana one, and then that blue thunder one. I just thought it was just cheap imitations, really. I looked at it and thought, maybe again it's because of the players that were wearing it and where we was at. Maybe it's that, but it had nothing on the ones that they tried to replicate. It had nothing on them.
No, it doesn't. But then they tapped into nostalgia. I think if you do that every now and again,
marketing.
That's why I quite like last season's kits, because they were just red with the white, and then the blue trims, and then the yellow.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. The blue, I guess, was a play, but otherwise, those two felt like original. Look, I don't mind. Ultimately, as long as they.
I like the. Was it 07, 08 away or 08, 09 when they done the white kit with the burgundy trim, and then the text, and it was a Herbert.
That was
Chapman.
nice.
I like that, and then we had the gold lettering. Nice. Yeah, I like that.
Eduardo Hleb.
That was it. Was it? That was at 07, 08, something like that.
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
I like that one.
The thing is, I just don't think they're going to bring out any more or many like white kits for Arsenal because they're seen as Tottenham.
Yeah.
But we've had that one,
the pinstripe one.
We've also had a. Oh, sorry, I'm talking rubbish. We had a white and purple one. Do you remember the Robbie called it the Freddy Krueger kit, the one that had the kind of marble halls pattern on it?
Oh,
Adidas, 2 years ago. Yeah. But I didn't like the shirt, but I liked the kit, if that makes sense. White with burgundy was quite nice.
Yeah.
But we had a white and navy shorts, I'm pretty sure. No, we had white and black shorts. Do you remember
that season?
Fabregas, I think it was 09-10, and it was a white collar with black shorts. And then we also had an away kit or a third kit that was exactly the same. It was navy with navy shorts.
Wasn't it pinstripe them ones?
Yes.
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
yes,
I remember that.
It was.
I remember that. I've got that white pinstripe top. Van Persie signed it.
He signed it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Saw him at the club shop. It's the only one I didn't burn when he left.
Cool, because it was that nice a kit. Right, here we go. So you had the blue one, and then you had the. If they re-release something like this with like more of a modern fit or whatever, and a couple touches, like they were nice. But again, maybe people would say white with that kind of grey black would be seen as too Tottenham.
Fuck Tottenham, man.
Yeah, but anyway, all right. We've really sort of had butchered this chat about kits, haven't we? But hey, why not? We beat AC Milan in that kit. He's the one you mentioned, the one with the text and the burgundy shorts.
Oh yeah. Was that the Fabregas goal?
Yeah. We had a white kit last year when we lost to Forest in the Cup. Yeah, that was of course the campaign they did to fight knife crime, the No More Red.
Oh yeah.
Things like that as well. I like, obviously I really respect that. But it wasn't an official kit they launched, and I think certain people who'd done community work or charity work got those shirts.
Yeah, well,
I believe
people that have done stuff for the like you said, community or knife crime.
Yeah,
pick up Shorts. Shorts is definitely a community, man.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Shorts on AFTV doing match reactions and also doing Twitch as well. So I'm sure we'll get him in soon as well. AL James says one of my favourite shirts is the Puma black kit with the diagonal white, light blue and gold. Oh yeah. Problem is, it reminds me of being beaten by Sheffield Wednesday and we didn't wear it again. I think we beat Olympiacos. Remember we had to win away at Olympiacos in the Champions League. We had to win 3-0 to go through, and we did.
Yeah.
That was I guess that was a nice moment for that kit.
Well, nice for some, depends on when you was born.
I think Giroud scored, maybe.
I didn't like that kit at all.
I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it. Anyway. In other news, guys, we're going to just take it on a slightly more serious note just for a second. The reason we haven't gone into it in big details, quite frankly, we don't know the details and we don't want to speculate or do anything like that. But we do know that obviously Ben White has left the England squad. There was a statement released by England. Arsenal released the exact same statement via the FA. And essentially, He's left the England camp and the World Cup for personal reasons and won't be returning for the rest of the World Cup. Now, it was followed by, I believe, a post by Rob Holding on Instagram, I think, showing his support. All we can say is, obviously, everyone here at AFTV wishes Ben White all the best. And obviously, we don't know any of the details, but, you know, we kind of hope and pray for him that everything is okay and as okay as it can be. There is a video, I think, actually scheduled to come out tonight about Ben White and what an amazing influence he's been on this Arsenal team. It's part of a mini-series that I'm building with the team here at AFTV. It was recorded before we knew the news. We are going to kind of reaffirm that in the video at the start of the video. But it was recorded before. It was part of the plan of 5 players we discussed that Ben White we felt was his new tactical role. It's a tactical insight style show that we felt that we wanted to kind of talk about how important he's been, how great he's been. And, you know, obviously with the news coming out, it's a real shame, but we still want to really sing his praises and you know, highlight how brilliant he's been and why we think he's been so brilliant. So we hope everything's, you know, okay and as okay as possible. If, of course, there's any news, we will, you know, bring it to you here on AFTV. I don't know if you've got anything you want to add, really, but
I don't know what's happened. You know, best wishes, but I don't know what's, you know, happened for me to comment on it. Yeah, you know, it sounds like there's, you know, by the way it's been put, it sounds like there's something going on where obviously you send your regards and hope for the best and whatnot, and hopefully, you know, he does return, and hopefully whatever issue it is, it does get ironed out. But we don't know yet to speculate too much. I see a lot of people online blaming Southgate and saying it's because he did. Listen, allow all that. Just sometimes you don't need to talk about things, you know. Sometimes you just don't need to talk about things. You don't need to talk. How many people across Twitter and YouTube have used that to kind of make videos, and we don't know what's going on. We don't know the extent of what's going on. It could be a real madness going on where people are just out here doing videos and tweeting and speculating about it. Just let him be. We'll find out when we find out. You know, he's got his family, he's got his friends. We are supporters of Arsenal Football Club. He is a player for Arsenal Football Club. Hopefully, hope the best comes out of the situation. But let's just let him do it. Let's just, you know. I think one of the sentences is, you know, respect his privacy. Yes. So let's fucking do that. Yeah. And I don't mean us. I mean, because I mean in general, people just allow it. Just, you know, stop speculating on something we have no clue about. Yeah. Couldn't agree with you more. Simon says our thoughts are with our Benny Blanco. Yep, and I know a lot of you in the comments as well. A lot of you viewing, watching the show feel exactly the same. All right, let's talk about. Some people asking why Josh Kroenke's in the thumbnail. I don't really know. No, I'll tell you why he is. I'll tell you why he's in the thumbnail. Because the topic of ownership has been coming up quite a lot recently. What with Super League, obviously a year and a half ago, and we know kind of how we felt about the Kroenkes. We've talked about the potential change. Do we think they're going a different direction? But one of the kind of main headlines around football club ownership in the last 3-4 weeks is around Man United and Liverpool's decisions both to try and sell their clubs. Now, things were worded in a way. Now, I'm no expert on either of these clubs or what their situation is, but things were worded in a way that it sounded like they would sell, but they are exploring options, they were kind of saying. Now, I saw one thing, again on Twitter, but I believe it was shared by a reliable Liverpool news aggregator. I'm just going to get that up while I kind of ask you a question and get your thoughts. But, you know, it's not going to be... Football club sales aren't always that easy, and owners getting what they want isn't always that easy, and these owners parting with these massive assets isn't the easiest thing in the world. So do you think maybe fans, and I'm not digging, this is no dig at Liverpool Man United fans in any way, shape or form, but do you think maybe fans generally, a bit like we did with the Spotify stuff, get a little too excited when there's talk or even genuine kind of moves to sell a football club, because you also don't really know who's going to buy them? Yeah, I mean, I understand our excitement, and I understand United fans' excitement. Not so much Liverpool. I get it. They don't spend like, you know, their competitors have spent over the years, but they've won stuff and they've challenged and they've got a top quality manager. They've got world-class players. So it's a bit spoiled on their side, in my opinion. And I know the Liverpool fans are strong online and they probably come for me for that. But with Man United and Arsenal in particular, we've come from something to pretty much nothing in 10, 15 years. So I get our excitement 100%. If I wake up and I'm hearing Kroenke is about to sell or is interested in selling, I'm going to be excited about that. So for Man United fans, I get it. I mean, I get it in one way, that the Glazers haven't paid too much care to them, but then a lot of their fans are screaming, yeah, let's get an oil man in, or let's get this guy in with the money and whatnot. And I'm thinking, hold on, money isn't the issue with you lot. You lot spend a hell of a lot of money. You can talk about they take money out the club and all you like, but money is not the issue, because they take, but you spend a hell of a lot. It's not like someone's going to come in and you spend more than what you've been spending. You've fucking been spending, what, $1 billion in the last 10 years? So
not far off City.
But then you'll have the fans that are like, no, we need new owners to come in and kind of, you know, fix the structure, pay some, you know, due diligence, care, attention to detail, all of that. I get that for them. Liverpool, I guess theirs is the opposite. They want someone to come in and spend the money, but that's not guaranteed. FSG, you know, I always said that they're more similar to Kroenke and the Glazers than they are Sheikh Mansour or Roman Abramovich. And I think that's why Liverpool fans are probably excited about the news. But who's to say that you get an owner like Newcastle or Manchester City or like Chelsea had? Even Chelsea's owner now spends a hell of a lot of money. And Nkunku's already over the line, it seems, for next summer. They tried to sort out Gvardiol last summer for the next summer. I don't think they got that one over the line, but I'm sure they'll go back in for him. So, you know, Chelsea have stumbled across an owner that spends, but at the same time, he sacks Tuchel for Potter. And in my opinion, Tuchel was underperforming. But in a lot of Chelsea fans' opinion, it's like, how can you sack a manager with the credentials of Tuchel for Potter? So maybe they're in a situation like the Glazers where, all right, they're willing to let the money be spent, but they're not willing to really do their homework on the situation.
So this was the news, so shared by the Anfield Talk on Twitter, and they've quoted bostonglobe.com. Fenway Sports Group are now leaning towards a partial sale of Liverpool Football Club to fund transfers as opposed to a full sale. Then they add in subsequent tweets, one of the potential partners is from North America. One outcome of a partial investment would be a minority partner eventually turning into a majority partner, but there's no indication that this is FSG's preference or that it wants to relinquish full control. Potential new partners would need to be philosophically aligned with FSG's fiscal tenets and team building philosophies, said a source. FSG is keeping its ears open about a complete takeover, but has not yet received a compelling offer and is unsure if it will. So it just goes back to that question I asked about whether maybe all this stuff is harder than people think it is, which is just because a club wants to sell. And yes, there's probably a lot of people in the world that can afford it, but you know, even to the richest, 6 billion is a lot of money. Mm-hmm. You know, and there's then a lot of people you got to answer to and care for and manage and look after, and especially in the world of football, you know you're going to want to get this right. So
maybe they thought they'd get more than they're being offered, and that's why.
What did Chelsea go for? Like 4.3 billion?
Was it that much? I don't think so.
No.
Am I wrong? So do a quick check.
I love
that'd be a bit more than I
research.
thought.
Chelsea sold to Todd Bowley. Let's have a little look. 4.25 billion according to Sky Sports. What were Arsenal being quoted for?
Wasn't it like 2.6 or 2.3 or something?
Hardly anything.
I don't know. You look at it, but United, the rumours are 6 billion. Liverpool, the rumours are what is it, 2 point something as well?
No, surely it's in the fours.
Yeah, it must be in the fours if Chelsea was in the fours, but you'd think Arsenal would be in the fours if Chelsea are in the fours, but who knows? It depends. In the last year is kind of, in terms of ownership, you know, who came into Newcastle, a Saudi Arabian consortium or some sort of. So they took over Newcastle. You saw some backlash about that, and then the issues with Roman happened and the sanctions and whatnot. So maybe, you know, listen, most, if not all, the billionaires in the world have acquired their money with some dirty tricks. That, you know, you don't get to that level and that much power in the world we live in now without having done people dirty or doing people dirty or, you know, doing something that the average person like me or you might look down on and say, nah, that's not acceptable. Most, if not all, billionaires. So maybe they're looking at it like, well, if that could happen to Roman, is this as wise an investment as it may once have been? Because just like that, if the UK government decide, they take it away from you, and then it's more problems than it's worth. So maybe we're in that stage where, because I'm surprised that United and Liverpool haven't had firm bids already. You know.
Well, when you look at the assets they are, the size fundamentally globally as brands. You know, I know the romantics, and I think me and you have a little bit of this in us. You know, these are football clubs, and these are our pride and joys and our loves and all that. But they are also businesses. They are also real, you know, organisations are part of a massive, incredibly lucrative and incredibly powerful industry, may I say. You only got to watch the recent FIFA documentary and stuff to know kind of how massive football can be. I mean, I studied it as well at uni, especially from the Italian side of things. You know, these are really, really big investments, not just, you know, from a financial perspective. So I'm very, very interested to see where these go, where they develop. On a footballing perspective, on a footballing front, you know, what as Arsenal fans do we take, if anything? Because I'm taking kind of nothing, but I don't know whether maybe I should be a little bit more clued into what's going on and how it could impact Arsenal going forward. I mean, you know, is an FSG with another, you know, investor that can put big cash in, is that maybe what Liverpool just lacking for what's otherwise been a very well-run club the last 5-6 years, I suppose, although Liverpool fans I know have their issues with, you know, certain things, and I understand, but then I always think when it's split across two ownerships, you know, we've seen with the Kroenkes when they weren't majority holders, that was the excuse they fell back on. It was like, well, now this is when we really started. So I don't really know how to look at it in terms of our rivals and how I'm sort of thinking about it from a footballing perspective. You don't
again, you don't know who's going to come in. You don't know what type of owner they're going to get. Once you know, then you can start kind of adding your 2 pence about how it might affect us. But right now, you know, we could talk about the potential of them being taken over by similar owners to Newcastle, and then there's problems. But on the flip side, we can talk about them getting taken over by, you know, someone similar to FSG or someone similar to the Glazers. A lot of their touting in terms of trying to find a new owner, it seems like has been done around America. I keep on hearing Rain Group are the ones that sorted the Chelsea Roman to Todd Bowley deal out. They've got a big list of American contacts and people they know that, you know, have the money to buy a football club. And I think Man United have gone with the Rain Group as well, if not Liverpool as well. So it's hard to really assess how it's going to affect us. I just leave it there, you know. Obviously, when I saw my phone and I see Glazers are willing to sell, I was kind of gutted because I've enjoyed the lack of care, and I've enjoyed that, you know, there's been summers where even I look at United signings and think they're back, but it just falls flat on its face. I've enjoyed this 10 years. But it's hard to tell. It's really hard to tell. But once we know the owner that comes in and we can do a bit of background checking of our own to see what type of owners they have been, then we'll know. But it's hard to...
We've got Strife says, not gonna lie, still dreaming of Flamini buying Arsenal. Obviously, if you don't know, Flamini's doing some amazing stuff in the world of, I think, science and business. I think
something like that. Science.
Aston says, please, Flamini, come and buy us so we can have Arsenal men from top to bottom. I like when Turkish and James do the live shows. Thank you, Fergus. We really appreciate that. People having fun saying the London Cowboys. 2.5 billion for Chelsea, but commitment to spending, says Dave Jordan, and someone else has said that as well. As 2.5 billion sale, but a guarantee of a 1.5 billion investment, says Lawrence.
Oh, no wonder they've started spending straight away.
If
that's the agreement.
Nathan, very much backing you, by the way, on the words you said on Ben White as well. Mudryk or Gakpo, asked Jacob. Mudryk for me, we did touch on this the other day.
Probably the same for me, yeah. But I wouldn't mind either.
How about this? Vlahovic or Gakpo?
Vlahovic.
Yeah.
Because then Jesus can be played out wide, but Vlahovic is played up top.
Say that one more time, sorry.
Because then Jesus could move out to the left while Vlahovic is up top, so we've got that rotation option there as well.
Just seeing what others have said about it. Yeah. We need a Vlahovic more.
Yeah.
Only because the issue we've got with Martinelli and Saka being the only two real kind of direct out-and-out wingers we've got becomes less of a problem when you've got a Vlahovic, because the Jesus can go wide and you've kind of solved that in a different roundabout way.
Because Jesus up front, people might say, he's he's not the most direct, but from the wings he's very direct.
Yeah.
It's just that he has to drop in there, and that's why people, like, when he's up front, say, "Yeah, he's not really that striker you need." But you move him to the wings, he wants to get into the box.
I just think he's so important to what we do, like leading the line. You know what? Because I ultimately wouldn't want anyone else leading the line for Arsenal at the moment. That's how happy I am with Jesus, even with the lack of goals. I would probably lean towards Gakpo and also I'm kind of judging Vlahovic on his last year at Juve and stuff. It's not gone great for him, has he?
No, it hasn't. But
Shall we have a look at the numbers again? On the spot research. That's what you love about this show, watching me type. Vlahovic, Transfermarkt, big up Transfermarkt. They've got everything.
I don't think he's been terrible there, but Juventus in general have been.
It doesn't start for Serbia.
Well, I guess that's Juventus tax at the moment.
I mean, that is crazy.
Yeah.
With the price he went for, the hype around him.
Yeah.
You know, you would have thought, okay, Mitrovic is a very good player. Don't get me wrong. 16 goals in 36 games, 5 assists. Like, it's not the end of the world.
Is that league?
So last season in the league for Juve, 7 goals in 15, and this year 6 in 10. Like, it's not bad.
That's
more than a goal a game.
It's good when you look at the side in general is struggling.
Yeah.
If he was in a side that more fluid, more chemistry.
Scored against Villarreal, scored against Maccabi Haifa, scored against Empoli. Is that all the games this season so far? It's quite a lot. Oh no, this is including last season as well. Alright, guys, Vlahovic, Gakpo, Mudryk. Who'd you target? I know Robbie was talking about the other day as well on his AFTV in Qatar. Speaking of signings, I just want to round off the show by it touches onto the Liverpool stuff we were talking about earlier as well, but Sven Mislintat's been linked with Liverpool. This was a guy, I think they called him Diamond Eye at one point, and he was considered an amazing scout who did what he did at Dortmund, bringing some great players. When he was with us, I don't think he did a lot in the world of signings that left me particularly impressed. Socrates, Mkhitaryan, who were good players in their own right, I suppose, but it didn't work for them with us. I guess maybe that's the kindest way to put it. Someone saying do a poll on that. All right, let's do a poll. Vlahovic, Mudryk, Gakpo, if that's okay, Joe. We'll get that going. Yes, Mavropanos, Trusay says, Mavropanos. Aubameyang was one. Trying to think.
Guendouzi.
I think Mavropanos and Guendouzi are the only ones that I'm like.
But was Guendouzi Emery though? Because
he was a Mislintat signing, I believe.
Oh,
Emery. So I believe Mislintat's stint was the start of Wenger's last season through to halfway through Emery somewhere.
I didn't.
Like he left.
Who did we sign
Pepe,
Guendouzi from?
Lorient.
Was it? Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Okay.
Pretty sure. So, those two younger players. And look at Aubameyang. Okay, I mean you don't have to have a great.
So does Saliba fall under him then?
I don't think Saliba was.
But then
I think that was a Raul Sanyehi one.
Yeah, I would.
So at that point, Sanyehi and Edu started to run the shit. Edu came in halfway through that summer of 2019. We've got Pepe and all that.
Martinelli.
Yeah, so Sanyehi was doing stuff. And I think I remember reading reports that Sanyehi and Mislintat had different ideas on where Arsenal should go. But 4 or 5 years ago, I might be remembering it wrong. But
no, I think it was something like that. I think Mislintat wanted the director of football role and
maybe
something along those lines.
I mean, we now have that in Edu.
Yeah,
right? That's what he is. He's they called it football director, not director of football. And that sounds silly, but sometimes I think they just want to. We're not bowing down to what you said 5 years ago. Be different. We'll call it
football director.
He's the football director, Edu, and he deserves it, I think. But yeah, Mislintat, I don't really think you don't know how much he was allowed to do. Funds, what the manager wants, those kind of things are going to ultimately restrict you. But I don't think he had a particularly great stint at Arsenal, and it all ended a bit early.
No, and where did he go after? I'm sure he went somewhere.
Did he go
after.
to Stuttgart?
Wasn't it Stuttgart?
Is that?
And then he bought Mavropanos there, innit?
I think it is
something like that.
Sven Mislintat. We need like a little jingle. One of Cecil's jingles when like like Danger Man and stuff, but just for online research, just to kind of fill the void. Here we go. What did he do? Sven Mislintat. This is a very short Wikipedia page, and yes, I am using Wikipedia. Mislintat returned to the Bundesliga as sporting director at Stuttgart in April 2019. Cool. There you go. November 2017 he joined Arsenal. So yeah, the 17-18 season was Wenger's last.
He's got a good reputation, but we didn't see the best of it. So, you know, he wasn't with us for too long either. What was it, 18 months in total?
Someone's just called him Sven Missed the Stats. Sven Missed the Stats. That is so good.
Is this the real Lee Judges saying, look forward to you two buying me the new shirt? Is that another account you got on YouTube, mate? Or
where?
what?
Where is he?
Near the bottom of the chat.
He thinks he's funny.
But I don't know if it's him. It's not Lee Judges TV. It just says Lee Judges.
No.
But if someone's trying to troll, then why would they talk about the new kit?
You
know, that's always on his head as well.
Who, Lee?
He's always thinking about it.
Yeah, no, I know. Can we just
No,
make sure he doesn't win
he said it is him.
Well, he's texted you.
No, he said no, it's me, but WhatsApp me, Lee, just in case.
Yeah,
you know how the internet gets. WhatsApp me, but either way, you're not winning it. So
he's using the kind of emojis that Lee would use.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? What do you think of the new kit, Lee? Everyone's asking, where's the poll? Where's the poll, Joe? Joe?
He fell asleep.
Oh, I love Joe. He's just gone, what's the poll? We're going to, just for the last 5 minutes of the show, Joe, we're going to run a poll. Gakpo, Mudryk, or Vlahovic? Who would everyone want the most? Just put who should we sign. Yeah, that killed me. What's the poll? I hear that.
Oh, look, it is Lee. Look, he just WhatsApped me. It's me.
No. It is him.
It is him.
Hello, Lee. How are we? When's the next Forever Arsenal, actually, speaking of? Should we just do our admin live
Saturday
on the show?
morning, isn't it?
Saturday morning. Cool, look forward to that.
Courtesy of Jordan.
Ahead of the, Jordan likes the early starts. You guys need to check out the Forever Arsenal podcast because they're getting funnier and funnier. When Lee revealed the true reason why England dropped points and Uruguay,
that was a classic clip. And
is,
Jordan loved it.
Yeah, absolutely.
He actually loved it.
The power of Jordan's predictions. We are working on the poll. We are working on it. There we go. We have it. Who should we sign? Gakpo, Vlahovic, Mudryk. Right, we should put... I'm going to give you the vote. Which one are you going for?
Vlahovic.
Ooh, 61% Mudryk. Professional show, says Akmal. I know, right? It's really... This is just top tier stuff. I think that's pretty much it, guys, on the news front. Let's just go through a couple comments. Arihant says, do you guys think with the two first choice signings come in, Arteta has what he needs to win us the league? First choice means first choice for Arteta and not the players we prefer. Do you think if Arteta gets two more of his absolute preferred players that we can challenge for the league or win the league?
Well, from the position we're in and his last 18 months of signings, I'd say yeah.
I say yeah. I mean, listen, any injury, crisis can plague a team. Don't get me wrong, but
there's also been some duds in there as well. That's
Yeah.
So two signings is very.
Yeah.
If one's a dud, then it's only one we're getting that.
Yeah. I'm going to trust him though. I'm going to trust that. Say he got two of his players, and I think he'd get them right. I think yeah, because I think you look at that first 11, which is the first 11 we kind of know, Zinchenko left back, all that. Then I think when you can call on the two signings, Smith Rowe, Vieira, Tomiyasu, Tierney, that's kind of 6 players that I feel very confident in.
Yeah.
And obviously we don't know who those two are, that you'd go, cool, that's your 17 that maybe could get you to a league title.
Yeah, like I said, I trust him a lot more than I did 18 months ago. So I'm going to go with that. If we sign 2 players and it's the 2 players he wants, not the 2 players he could fit into the budget, that's a very different story. If it's the 2 players he wants, then yeah, I'd assume that we can win we already can win the league this year from the start of the season, but it's still very early days. And the January moving into February, we'll know where we are heading into that Manchester City game at the Emirates, and we'll also know the squad we have for the rest of the season. So I'll wait till then to really kind of stick my neck on the line for where I think we'll finish. But it is what it is. We move.
Breaking news, guys, not Arsenal related, but of course we were talking about it earlier. Roberto Martinez has announced that he will stop as the national coach of the Belgian Red Devils. The decision was made before the tournament, according to the Royal Belgian FA. We're seeing other reports of it, but that's as good a source as you're ever going to get. Yeah, I mean, of course.
Well, expected. I was going to say to you at some point in the stream, has he been sacked yet? But
listen, it was He's had a good run. You'll get a good club, I think, probably as his next job. But that is it's been a poor showing really with the players he's had.
You might see him at Tottenham next. I could see that.
Yeah.
Because what do they do after Conte? They're not getting Pep and Klopp, are they? So
Jose.
Well, again, round 2.
Who knows? Anyway, all right, guys. We can leave it there. Fantastic chance. 2 players gives us a great chance, says Lee Judges. Lee, I rarely see you in the comments. It's good to have you. But there you go. That's what Lee's saying. Gakpo can play anywhere across the front 3, says Simon. Very good point. Henry is the assistant, right? Says Akmal. Yeah, he is. So I don't know where.
But still.
Yeah, he was still there. Yeah, I think he left and went back.
Something like that.
Or he's doing management, but also maintaining this role.
Juggling it.
So, yeah. All right, guys, we're going to leave it there. Hope you've enjoyed the show. Well done to production on this amazing Christmas set. Of course, we are now counting down to Christmas. And the closer we get to Christmas, the closer we get to Arsenal return to football, which is the 26th of December. That is Boxing Day. Arsenal will be hosting West Ham at home. But there are 3 friendlies before that. I believe it's Lyon,
AC Milan,
and Juve.
Yeah.
Juve at the Emirates. The other 2 in Dubai, the Dubai Super Cup. So we'll be covering it. Turkish, big thanks for joining.
Love as always.
And yeah, if anything pops up, guys, in the world of Arsenal, of course, we'll be reacting to it here live on AFTV. And you will see us for the lives every sort of Monday to Friday at 5 p.m, of course, unless we let you know, or there's an England game that sort of clashes and we're all doing Saka watch. Hopefully he gets his place back in the England team, man, because he deserves it. Play Foden the 10, Saka on the right, and everyone's happy. I think that's pretty much it. Go check out DR Sports for the watch along tonight. Will Germany book their place in the knockout rounds? Excited to see that as well. Big thanks to everyone who joined us. We'll catch you on the next one.